What is up, folks, and welcome to another edition of Billy the Kid's Toy Reviews. And today, courtesy of my wife finding some really cool toys at a yard sale, we are taking a look at 3 incomplete Kenner Predator figures from the 90s. But I just saw Badlands, and I wanted to do a Predator review. So here we go. This small lot included the Scavage Predator, the Spike-tail Predator, and the cracked Tusk Predator. This figure came with like a bolero type weapon. I do not have that. He came with a really large shoulder cannon. Again, I do not have that. And Spike-tail came with, I believe, something that like he could throw because he has this spring mechanism. So, as I said, they are incomplete, but they're just so cool. Kenner, you know, they had the rights for the Predator line back in the 90s. And instead of just making the same figure and over again with Predator and Aliens, they made their own original designs, and I adore them for that. And I really feel that's what kind of inspired, I believe Dan Trachtenberg is the guy that does Prey, Predator, Killer of Killers, and this new one, Badlands, because there's so many designs that hark back to the old Kenner figures. And I love that. So these figures are old. They're from the 90s. Limited articulation, right? Legs go forward and back, but they're set in specific poses. All right? So they're guaranteed to stand, but they're also limited. Their arms only go around. And this particular Predator, his head can't turn due to this design here. But what he can do is he holds a weapon and he kind of like spring launch attacks it. It's cool. It's my least favorite of the 3, but it's still a pretty cool Predator. Like, this is something on the screen I think would look pretty badass. Up next is the Scavage Predator. This was the most generic looking Predator out of this first wave of Kenner figures. He came with this really cool staff with a skull on it, as well as a launching bolero weapon. Again, Kenner did amazing detail work, but they either painted through everything. Like, you could see the skin details in here, and there's little latches here that aren't painted and chain that isn't painted, where this figure really could have, you know, been a game changer, which, you know, any customizer can. The back view is great. Sides, he's got his, you know, blade weapons. Cool feature, removable mask, again with a really good classic Predator look. Again, no head rotation, but the arms rotate, the legs go back and forth, and again you have that limited Kenner articulation. But again, the originality's there, and I applaud them for that. I'd love to see this character on the big screen. Really cool. It's still one of my favorite Predator designs. And then you have Cracked Tusk. And Cracked Tusk came with a giant shoulder cannon that unfortunately this one doesn't. And he's such a savage looking beast. In fact, spoiler alert, if you saw Predator Badlands, again, spoiler alert, the 2 Predators that fight Deck at the end of the film resemble this design. And I think that's really cool. Again, limited articulation, especially this guy where his arms are kind of stuck in that Frankenstein pose. His legs do not go back due to this He-Man cloth crotch cover. But his biohelmet is removable, and you get a really cool head design with a cracked tusk. So, super cool. Again, these are old figures. They're not built to today's standards, and they're just so cool. Like, the nostalgia factor of, I remember being a kid and seeing Predator toy commercials and needing them. And again, I appreciate my wife. She saw them at a yard sale and picked them up for me, and that's just amazing to have someone that supports what you're into. These are fun figures. If you see them at a yard sale, definitely pick them up, or maybe Facebook Marketplace. Or if you go to a store like St. Mark's Comics, they sometimes have these guys in like their loose figures section, and they're worth picking up. I dig them. I love them. They take me right down memory lane. And I had a great time messing around with these. I hope you enjoyed my little review. Sorry for any spoilers, but I did try to give you some spoiler warnings for Badlands. If you're a fan of Killer of Killers and all those, these designs definitely do lend to some of the character designs in those movies. This is Billy the Kid signing off.